Hello, welcome to part 2 of how to boost your immune system by using the breath. So today we're going to focus on the more practical side of the exercises. If you haven't seen the first video, which would be entitled how to use or breathing and how to use the breath to boost the immune system, then I would advise that first, just because I get into the theory of it. And that's really only if you're interested in the theory. If you want to just flat out just do the exercises and not bother with the theory, you can begin here, or you can even do that and go back, however you want to do it. I also have a podcast on there, The Science and Ecology of the Breath. And that is a great podcast, a really, really thorough breakdown of the breath and how it manages the ecosystem of the body itself, as well as our moods, our emotions, the way our thinking patterns, all of that. So today what we're going to focus on is, of course, again, the pumping. So the body has this natural pumping system that allows us to breathe deeper, and technically this is how we're supposed to be breathing. We're supposed to use movement as breath, use the pumping system of the body as the breath. Of course, the exercises that we're doing are just that. They are exercises, but you can find ways to implement those movements in your life and in the way that you move, which is just as important to be able to implement the practicality of these exercises. And that's really what we want to go for. I have no issues with traditional exercises and traditional systems because they're also a culture in and of themselves and a community. And so those are wonderful things. But at the same time, there's many of us who just want to seek out the practicality. I like both. I like the practicality, but I also like traditional things as well. I like to mingle, throughout it all. However, I'm not just focused on the traditional side of things. And I want people to be able to access the practical side of these exercises. In the previous video, I do talk about how we can boost our immune system. And if you're interested in the theory behind that, you definitely want to check that out, because this really does boost the immune system. It really does allow you to strengthen your body's defenses and how your body really should be responding to things in its environment, internally and externally, when it comes to stress. So we're going to begin today. Unlike the previous video, we're going to just work it like a practice, and the only time I talk is going to be to give instruction. The music that I use, I'm going to have music playing, and that is done by the Fractal Verse, which is a music project done by myself and my friend Dan Schmidt. I would also like to say that Dan has a video on here, on this playlist as well, called, I believe it's called Using the Breath as an Object for Meditation. And so there's a great understanding of when we're using the breath and when we're focusing on the breath and when we're trying to improve our breath, there's two ways to approach it. And one would be the active way, where we actually get into the body and we manipulate the body and reprogram it back to the natural way of breathing through these exercises. So we get in and we take some control, or should I say negotiation? We work with negotiation with it, but we're active. On the other side of the approach is sitting and observing the breath, not controlling the breath at all, but understanding the patterns that you have unconsciously created throughout your life. Pay attention to how those interact with the rest of the organism itself, how it interacts with the changes, and how it might kind of revert itself back or might not. Different things that may come and go during it. These are all subtle things. Your breath is communicating to you all the time. It's communicating to your entire system. This is why I do feel possibly that the breath is the expression of our consciousness, or a major expression of our consciousness anyhow. So if you use these two videos with each other, then that really will help to get you to a better place with the way that you breathe and the way that you can calm the mind, calm the emotions, and just your state of being. So what we're going to begin with is just first going internal, and we're going to bring the gears down, so to say. So we may come into it from different walks of our day, different energy levels, really tired and or just wired and ready to go, which you don't want to be. In this, you need to calm it down. You don't want to be high and you don't want to be low, so we're going to bring it even. And so we'll begin by checking the gears, I like to say, where we just go into the body internally and kind of like with Dan's video, first just observation, but we're only going to do that for a few minutes, and then we're going to get moving into actually getting moving. This observation allows you to bring the gears down, basically on their own, even just by observation. The moment we bring observation into the system, it changes on its own anyway, kind of like in quantum theory. Observation changes things. Of course it does. So I'm going to put on the music and we're going to begin. Okay. I'm using an office chair because, again, practical. I think this is a good for people also when they work in offices and things like that they can use this. Showing to use this on a chair that anyone can do it. So we're going to bring the left hand over the center area of the heart center, and then bring the right hand just below the navel, the dantian. We're just going to close the eyes. So a couple things you want to keep in mind here are the teeth. You want to keep your teeth aligned, so the top teeth and bottom teeth. You want to keep the tip of the tongue connected to the root of the palate, just behind the top front teeth. We're going to close the eyes. The gaze can be forward, it can be right at the brow, or up towards the brain, however you wish. What we want to do is to sink the pressure of the breath into the core, into the hips, as though you're filling the hips like a bowl. You want to feel it circular, spherical, swelling the belly, the sides, and the lower back. And then when you breathe out, relax. But you're only observing, you're not directing it. Make sure that we're sitting in our plumb line. We're keeping the chin in. Bringing the chin in is not bringing the forehead forward though. So you want to stay in the plumb line. That's where the center of the crown is in alignment with the anus. So you're observing different pulses in your body as well, twitching, pulsing. Observe the muscles. Observe the rhythm of the breath. Observe the pressure of the breath. Is the breath going up into the chest, or is it going down into the hips like a bowl? We're not changing it yet, we're just observing. Because it should go into the bowl, we want to know where we're at naturally in our day. Have I been breathing naturally, or have I been breathing stressfully? If it's up in the chest, it's stressfully. Practice, try to lengthen that time. Try to do it longer if you can. because a lot of people have a hard time breathing through their nose, through their nasal passages, maybe one or the other or both, we're going to begin with an alternative nostril breathing exercise first, just to help charge and clear this area to make it easier for you to breathe, because we will be doing a good bit of breathing through our nose. So when you're doing alternative nostril breathing, you're plugging one side and you breathe in through the other side. You can flare the nostril, so you'll see her flaring the nostril, like tiger breathing. Flare that side. Relax the elbow so the shoulder doesn't get stressed out. And for now, so that we can keep the shoulders relaxed, what I'm going to do is just alternate hands. Normally I like to do this for myself, but I'm not doing this video for myself. I'm doing it for you. So I want this to work so that people understand that they really need to relax their shoulders. And so we're just going to do it this way. Okay? So you breathe in, flare, and then you breathe out. It's after the exhalation that you switch nostrils, and then you would breathe in. And now we are going to bring in that control of the breath, and we want to make sure that we're breathing into the core, pushing the pressure of the breath down, not breathing into here or here, not breathing up, that's for sure. Breathing down, swelling the core. When you breathe out, you're going to pull the belly in and up, so it's like this. And then when you breathe out, breathing out, and then you're breathing in, and you push it out. You breathe out, and then you breathe in. So you're getting this control of the muscle groups in here, which takes time as well if you're a beginner. It's one heck of an abdominal workout. So breathe out. Out. Breathe in. Breathe out. Remember to keep the tip of the tongue at the root of the palate. Okay, now we're going to start pumping. So what that looks like is going forward. So I'll show you first just how you're moving. So you're moving like this, you're coming forward, getting a nice curve through the back. My weight goes into my feet. Heels aligned with the knees, ankles with the knees. You're coming down like this. Drop the head completely. And then slowly push into your feet as you come up nice and slow. You're going to roll up the spine. So you're going to go down, breathe out. Drop the chin, breathe in. Push your feet into the ground, roll up. And you don't want to lean back, you want to try to come back up straight through your plumb line. And then you can raise the chin, come back down. Up. Okay, now we're going to flow. So you're going to start switching nostrils now. Breathe out. Breathe in as you come up. Switch. They're always switching each time you go down. Switching hands. I like to use the thumb because it's wide and it can close the whole nostril, and that's what you need to do. Remember, you're pulling your belly in and up as you go down. As you're coming back up, try to swell the belly. breathing more at a pace of a beginner, but as you would go longer and longer in your practice, you would begin to slow down more and more. So we're going to switch up the movement now just slightly. So the exhale now, we're going to drop the chin and roll down the spine like this. And then roll back up the spine again as you breathe in. Okay? So you're going to breathe out. Notice here at first, I'm working the chin pump. So I'm going to do this first, then collapse down. So don't come down collapsing like that, okay? This is important. You want to bring the chin in, close the throat first, then slowly go down. And you're pulling your belly in and up when you go down. Swelling the belly when you come up. Tucking the chin first. Next, now we're going to keep working with the pump. We're going to start breathing through the nose, only in and out through the nose, and then we'll start changing that up as we go. So I'm going to breathe out. So what I do here is I'll move back a little bit. I'm not used to these selfie videos. Okay, there we go. So I'm going to hold the knees and use the knees. So as I come forward, I'm pulling. Just gently though. And then I'm going to come forward just like you were in the first one where you're curving your back like that and you're coming down. You want to be on the edge of your chair. And then you come down and you're going to breathe all the way out, all the way out, all the way out. Because we're going to start lengthening the exhale. Then coming up, I want to push, coming up like this. So it's going to be like a push-up almost on your knees. Again, stay aligned through the ankle and the knee. Coming down, I'm absorbing just like I would if I was coming down in a push-up or a plank. Okay? You're activating back here. Okay, so we're going to breathe out. Again, keep the tip of the tongue connected to the root of the palate and the teeth aligned. Breathing out. Pulling the belly in and up as you come forward. Pushing the belly down and out as you come up. Going to utilize a chin pull. Now when I come up, I want to come straight up at this point, up the plumb line. You don't want to lean back. I'm going to come up, and I can still pull a little bit through the knees at this point. I came up pushing, but then I can pull a little bit So you want to get that rib cage to rotate a little bit there. And then I'm leading from here. Using the movement of the body as the pump. Really want to make sure that you're not holding your breath when you come up. You want to just, as soon as you feel full of the inhalation, come right back down and breathe it out. We're not working with hypoxia here. Feel that full circuit of the breath, and as you come down, you want to complete the exhalation so that you can activate that vacuum effect, where you can then just receive the breath rather than having to take the breath. Remember, as you're coming forward, you're pulling the belly in and up, gathering those muscle groups of the abdominal region and pulling them in and up. Again, this is an amazing exercise for your internal organs, massage and tonification, cleaning, detoxing, strengthening. Okay, now we'll start breathing out through the mouth, and we're going to stretch the tongue out so that we're activating the throat. We're activating the throat chakra. We're activating the glands of the throat. We're activating the digestive system. Clearing out all the garbage in here. Again, this exercise may create a lot of saliva. Swallow the saliva. It may also dislodge a lot of phlegm. Spit out the phlegm. Never swallow the phlegm. Make sure you have a tissue on hand. So the mouth closes coming up though. Breathing in through the nose coming up. Again, don't hold the breath, just bring it right back out. let's start developing a subtle sound. So you're going, and that way you're just getting things more dislodged, really working that deeper pump. Start breathing in and out through the mouth to really activate the throat chakra, to really just get things cleaned out through here. So we're gonna breathe out, tongue stays out, breathe in, tongue stays in. Feel it pump in here. Even though you're pulling the pressure down here still, now we're gonna pump the throat with it as well. But you're not breathing with the throat. You're breathing still with the core. You're breathing through the throat, and the throat will expand by what you're doing, also because of the stretch of the tongue. You can swallow down here though. If you close your mouth, you don't want to drool on the floor. Swallow the saliva, spit the phlegm. Talk for a moment, keep doing that while I'm talking. If you cough during this, you want to just stop for a moment, swallow some saliva, get a bit more moisture into your throat, and then just go back into it. Don't try to just cough, recover, and keep going. You want to just pause for a minute and deal with that. If you are coughing from this, it could also be that you're taking the breath, that you're pulling that breath in too hard. You want to allow the movement to pull the breath in instead. More than anything, and you want to do that gently and slowly. You don't want to stress out the throat, but you do want it to expand. Again, once you come down, make sure that you're completing the exhalation. Don't come up beforehand. Every so often ask yourself, why am I rushing to the inhale? Don't rush to the inhale. pulling your belly in and up to breathe out. Sinking the pressure of the breath into the core, swelling the belly, the sides, the lower back as you're coming up. And last one. So we're going to change it up. You're going to come down. We're still going to do the same one. Come down one more time. Roll back up nice and slow. And then prepare yourself for a deeper exerting exhalation. So we're going to come down now. You're going to breathe out. And as you breathe out, you're going to sink your weight into your legs because you're going to bring your bum off of the seat. It's going to look like this. I'm going to just pump out that exhale. Of course, sit back down to come back up. Push into the ground as you're coming up. Push into your seat as you're coming up. Get it all out. Get it all out. Again, don't rush the inhale. There may be panic that comes up. This is the root of fear. Face it. Calm it down. Know the breath is coming in and it's fine. It's just the panic of the body that's used to another pattern. It's the panic of another side of your mind. It's the panic of the old pattern. For a moment, let's just sit, relax, come into the plumb line, relax the arms, relax the elbows, drop them in a little bit. Just gonna relax, allow the blood to level back out in the plumb line through the angle of the plumb line. Breathe with your core. So you're breathing in, it's coming in, going down, your core swells. You're breathing out, you're contracting the muscle groups of the abdomen, coming up to push the breath out. Because when you're breathing in and you push that pressure down, it brings the diaphragm down. The lower lungs come down. More space. Breathe out, you're pulling in and up, you're lifting the diaphragm over to squeeze out the lungs. Don't breathe with this. Breathe with your core. Lengthen your exhalation. Okay, now we're going to go into the breath of fire. So we're going to get things activating now, and we're going to get pumping deeper, faster. Really getting that exhalation going, really getting your nervous system charged as well. So during this, at any point in time, you may find yourself burping. That is completely normal because you are activating the digestive system quite a bit, and it's very healthy to burp, no matter what your spouse might say. Men are more free with it than women, I believe, and not in all cases, of course, but in a lot of cases. And it's just important to know that we should all freely just, of course, don't do it in anyone's face, and maybe not be rude about it, but it does have to happen both ways, in and out, that way, both ways. Gotta let it all happen. It's not healthy to trap things in. Our emotions, our frustrations, like all of these things, our gas. Just don't trap things in. You can't hold your breath, right? You shouldn't hold your breath, so why would you hold anything else? Don't hold on. Let it go. Okay, so the breath of fire, we're going to begin with the nose. And if any of you have issues with your breathing through the nose, this is going to help out a lot. So again, you're going to flare the nostrils like this, okay? Get that tiger flare going so that you can breathe in and out. And I'll give you a few alternatives. So it's going to go like this. And what I'm doing is... So I'm doing this with my belly, and it's really pumping. And I'm getting that pump. It's an exhalation. This is what's happening. When we do this, it's going to build a lot of heat. It's also going to move gas, possibly, as well. Excuse me. I also choose to do these kinds of things on an empty stomach. I don't mean to, I just do. Naturally, fasting in the morning, I don't eat anything pretty much until around 1 or 2 in the afternoon. I stop eating probably just after 9:30 at night if I have some snacks, anything like that. But then I do that intermittent fasting. And so I make sure that when I do these exercises, I do them on an empty stomach. It really does help. You don't want to be battling digestion in the middle of this, that's for sure. Okay, so maybe I should have said that at the beginning, but we're in it now. So, for next one. Okay, now we're going to get this going, and you want to really feel this area activating and this area simultaneously. Ready? Get the hips thrusting with it as well. Your sacrum, the sacral area, a little sacral pump with it as well. While you're doing that, it helps to advance it, helps to keep it going more, helps to alleviate any cramping as well. Try to keep your shoulders relaxed. So I'm moving my nostrils around in different ways too, just to help dislodge anything. So give that a try. Just kind of, like a bunny, how a bunny moves their nostrils or their nose when they're smelling. Push it out all the way, all the way. All the way, push it all the way out. And slowly coming up. Okay, now we're going to do the same through the mouth with the tongue sticking out. And this will also help to activate up through here. It's funny, dogs do this, panting. Pretty much what you're doing here is like panting. Dogs do this to cool down, and we do this and we heat up. So it's interesting, the internal coolant system or internal heating system of the body between different animals. Okay, so we're going to stick the tongue out. And again, I'm using this structure. And down. Okay, and then we're just gonna rub the belly for a moment just to give it that reward for doing all that hard work. Move those acids. Don't let them settle in there. And we'll do a little self massage and with the patting. You're just gonna breathe out gently when you do this. Try to relax the shoulders, keep the elbows dropped back. You're gonna move up now to the rib cage, all in through here. Let's cross over. So you're kind of hitting in here, right along the shoulder, right along the sternum, the collarbone there, and then also you want to get a bit around where the neck meets the shoulder and get some of the arteries in there as well. So you're just kind of moving around a little bit as well. Let the bottom of the palms just kind of tap in around here. Then come across. And slow it down. Then we're going to start using the fingers like that. Okay, now let's come down to the solar plexus. So your rib cage comes up into here, like that. That soft area where if someone were to hit you there, it would knock the wind right out of you. And if you tap it too much, it's like, oh, I don't like that, that's tender. That's where we're going. We're gonna work on that little tender spot there. Okay, and you're just gonna lightly push in there, just lightly tap. Keep your hand relaxed while you're doing it. Solar plexus is one of those chakras that deals with courage or fear. This is a fearful area again. Fear connected to the, or rooted to the breath. If You get hit here and that's it. Wind gets knocked right out of you. And then slowly turn the hand so it's a little bit bigger. Breathe it out. Slowly tap a little bit harder, but you have to know your own body. In all of these exercises, I'm not responsible for your body. So you gotta listen to yourself. This is very important. Don't tap as hard as me. Maybe don't try to breathe as long as me. You know, things like that. Always listen to your body. You are to become your own teacher. We're just guides. That's all we are. No matter how many teachers get big blown up egos, just because they're guiding somebody, don't ever give anybody your power. They're just a teacher. They're just human like you. You wouldn't hand it over to the person fixing your computer, would you? What you're doing here is building your own self-empowerment. Well, I'll just help you with different techniques to build your own. Okay. Now, you can switch it up with your hands too, so that you're not just working one hand. And that's good to bring into your practice so that you do that. That way you're not just always using the one arm. You're going to work your way down a little bit too now, so we're going to start going down over the abdomen. And then we're going to slap the bladder. Again, deep exhaling. Always keep your hands relaxed when you're doing tapping and slapping work. It's just like playing a hand drum. You wouldn't actually hit the drum, you're bouncing off of it. And slow it down. Just give your hands a good shake out. Just gonna get everything shaking here now. And slow it down. Do little circles this way. So it's going like this. Just little circles, keeping it nice and relaxed. And slow it down. Open it up, nice and slow. And bring the hands down. Okay, so from here now we're going to do some more pumping now through the arms and through the legs. So what I'm going to do here is push into the ground as I'm bringing the hands up. Coming back down nice and slow. And when you come down, you release the flex of the hands. I'm going to come up, slowly stretch the hands, slowly calibrating it, slowly opening the knuckles. By the time I'm up here, I'm going to open it and stretch it, and then come back down. If this bothers your shoulders, you can also do it this way as well, if that's easier for you. I'm going to end up doing both, just so that we can mix it up. So we'll start with this one first. I'm going to breathe in. Breathe out. Relax the hands. Let the blood flow down into the hands, then come back up. Stretch the hands, stretch the knuckles. Breathe it back out nice and slow. Relax the arms as they slowly come down. So you're pushing into your feet here, gently, getting that leverage, slowly opening. Pay attention to this area, because this area here, you want to, if it's tight and tense, you don't want to fully extend your elbow yet. So you want to just get that pumping a bit more first before really opening the elbow if you have elbow issues. Make sure not to hold your breath too. You're only coming up. So I'm still breathing in. And then out. If you come up to here and you're full, just give it a quick stretch and come back down, but don't hold your breath. Just switch it over to the exhale. Again, right now I'm going to move more at the pace of a beginner. But in time you want to really slow this down. Bringing the elbows back so that the hands come into alignment with the hips. Then breathe out. Hands still come back down. Sorry, up. Breathe in. Sorry for that. Breathe in, coming back down and up. Then back down. And when you come down, again, of course, come down straight. Let the blood flow into the hands and then draw the elbows back as you're deepening that exhale. Then inhale. Remember, you're pushing through your feet here. Now, I'm not exactly teaching this in any real routine or anything like that. So you can mix it up however you like. Take different exercises out of it that you do like and use those. If you don't like others, don't. You know, whatever works for you. That's what you gotta do. But do try to understand which ones really are important. Which ones are the most efficient for you and most practical for you. The hard ones either. Sometimes they're the ones you need the most. Okay, one more like that. Now you can keep doing this one if you do have those shoulder issues for this one, but we're going to move on to this one now, breathing in as you come up. Reach down here too to open this area. Stretch up through my crown to stretch my neck. Slowly stretching the knuckles open as you come up until the hands are completely stretched, and then slowly relax them as you come back down. Again, working them like a pump. I'm often asked if there's other teachers I would recommend or whose works I would recommend. And I would definitely recommend anything by Dr. Yang Wing Ming. You can find him on Facebook. You can find him on Google. Just type in Dr. Yang Wing Ming, WMMA, I believe. MAA. I always mix that up. For Dr. Yang Wing Ming. Especially if you want that tradition. He's brilliant for that. Okay, we're going to bring it down. Relax. I'm going to breathe in. Now I'm going to lift the shoulders up towards the ears, but push the pressure of the breath down into the hips, into the core. And then when you breathe out, bring the shoulders down, stretching up through the neck as though there's a string here pulling you up. And breathe in. So I'm pushing that pressure down so that the pressure of the breath is not up in the chest. Even though I'm lifting my shoulders, I'm not lifting the breath. I'm not breathing up. I'm just lifting the shoulders as I push the internal pressure down. Then when you breathe out and bring the shoulders down and bring the neck up, then you're pulling the belly in and up. Again, try to keep your elbows in close. Use the isometrics of your body. You can push, then breathe out. You can even slide your hands if you need to. All these different variations that may help. But work with that internal pressure. And bring it back down. Okay, so now we're going to move to a resonation type breath. But first what I want to do is charge the system. So we're going to do a little hyperventilation, just a small one, hyperventilating exercise. I guess when we did the breath of fire, I don't know if you could call this hypoventilation. Maybe that was hypoventilation. Just a little joke I had the other day. Could be true. Think about it. But anyway, so hyperventilation is doing it really quick. We're inhaling. So we were focusing on the exhale very rapidly for the breath of fire. And now we're going to focus on the inhale very rapidly. Really charging this area as well. So it's just going to go like so. And you want to do that. You want to flare those nostrils, get them stretched. Try to breathe in through your nose if you can so you can really stimulate this area. If you feel you need to switch to the mouth, you can do that just to get breath in. We're not going to do it for very long, and then we'll just settle into it because there will be an endorphin rush. And then we're going to end with some resonating, like some ohms, to vibrate the body, to vibrate the cells, the capillaries, everything, the nervous system, before we close out. Okay? So again, you're breathing in rapidly. Then if you want, you can also use the body to pump it. I'm pushing into my legs here. Sorry, because I'm talking, I keep throwing off my own rhythm, but you need to keep doing it. Just showing different variations. Try them all out on your own time. I just want to throw them all in there. Okay, but just keep it going. Almost done. And now I'm gonna breathe out. Breathe in nice and slow. Now we're gonna hold the breath for about 3 seconds. I don't want to risk anything with anyone, so just 3 seconds. But always keep the pressure down here, never in the head. Never want to feel it in the head. Now let it out, slow. Just allow the wave of endorphins to rush over, to calm the system. This is a great natural painkiller. And I'm not big into holding the breath, so there are some breath retention exercises that we do, but we prepare ourselves for it. Beginners should never hold their breath very long at all, if they're doing it at all. Okay, we're going to breathe in. Breathe out, bringing it down. We're going to om. Try to om as long as you can, emptying the breath. You're lifting the belly and the diaphragm with this. When you get to the part, bring the teeth together, close the lips together, and allow that to vibrate the skull as well. You're vibrating this whole area while you're doing this. Starting with a very deep as you can. Let it go in deep. I mean deep. Get it out there. And then you're moving it. As you're coming back down, you're allowing it to displace itself as it leaves. By the time you get to around here, you want to be getting to the M part of the om. Somewhere between here and here, that's up to you. And that's when you're doing that. So the O resonates those cavities, and then it's going to resonate the skull. Remember, I'll do it a little differently. I might do it a lot longer. get that Om loud, though. You want to make it audible. You want to vibrate your body. Of course, you warm up to it. As you go, you can get louder and louder, and then you reach a point where it then peaks out, and you start going quieter and quieter. Each one to the other does not have to sound the same or feel the same. Just go with it, don't control it. Again, you're not controlling it though. You're only controlling the volume. There's going to be all kinds of things going on inside of the Om. So now I want more vibration up here, so I'm really going to start giving more to the M now. Maybe one word, but it has so many applications. I'll just do the sound to just keep the mouth closed now and the teeth aligned. Now we'll finish off with a few from low to high. observe everything now. Sink into it. Ground, remember. Then breathe out. Don't hold your breath. Remember, whenever you're breathing in, you're pushing into the ground for leverage for a deeper breath. Just gently, of course. Helps you sink the breath. Take a moment to connect to your higher source, whatever that means to you. heart center, lower dantian. Thank you.